All right, guys, so today we are going to start off with subtracting now. So what we did yesterday, we're doing the exact same thing. However, instead of adding, you are now going to subtract. So if you notice, we don't have a lot of these differences in standard form. I think you guys had a lot of practice yesterday. So on this one's a pretty simple one to start off with. I've got 5/10 minus 2/10. Well, same place value, 5 minus 2, 3. It's going to be 3/10. How you write 3/10 in place value form is going to be the decimal point and 3. That is how you write 3/10. Okay. This one should be able to do this without needing to get our place value chart. So I have 5 ones and 9 thousandths minus 2 ones. So I can take this 5 minus 2. So I have 5 minus 2 is 3 ones. And then my 9 thousandths minus essentially 0 because I don't have any thousandths there. It's going to be 9 minus 0 is going to be 9. So I have 3 ones and 9 thousandths. And how I write that in place value form, if you can't remember, I'm going to have my 3 ones and then I have to have my 9 in my thousandths column. So this is what it looks like. Here's your 0, here's your 0, and that is how I write it in decimal form. So it's going to be 3.009. Okay. Well, let's take a look at letter C. It says 700s, 800ths minus 400ths. So let's take a look at this. Do I have hundreds over here? I don't. So it's going to be like basically saying minus 0 hundreds. So I can say 7 minus 0 is going to be 7 hundredths. Then I've got my hundredths, 8 hundredths minus 4. I can do that. 8 minus 4 is going to be 4, so I'll have 4 hundredths. So if I come on my place value chart, I have 7 hundredths and I've got 4 hundredths. So this is what I have. I need to fill in all those zeros. So it's 700.04, and this is how you will write it on your paper. Okay. Ooh, this is a pretty good one. 37 thousandths minus 16. Now, I would probably just kind of off over to the side over here. I'd do 37. Sorry, guys. I'm hitting my little arm. Minus 16. Okay, well, I can do 7 minus 6 is 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. So that's going to be 21 thousandths. So remember, when you put this onto your place value chart to show 21, I'm going to have my 1 in my thousandths because that's where the number is going to end. And then I have my 2 in my hundredths with a 0. So to write that in decimal form, it is going to be 21 thousandths or 0.021. All right, moving down to these ones. This is the same exact concept as yesterday. You line up those decimals. And today, with subtracting, it is going to be important to add some zeros if you need to, especially on the top number if you're going to do this. One thing you can't do is you cannot change and say, oh, well, I don't have enough digits, I'm going to move this number to the front. You have to write it the way you see it. So on letter A, I have 1 and 4/10. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 and 4/10, and I'm going to subtract, and I'm lining up those decimals, that 7/10. Now, I can't do 4 minus 7, so this is where I'm going to have to regroup. I'm going to have to borrow from some columns to be able to do this. So when I regroup, I'm going to take this 10, or this 1 that I have. It's going to be, I'm going to turn it into 0, and I'm going to take that 1 that I borrowed, and I'm turning it into 10/10. So now I've got 14 because I've got that 10/10 plus 4 is 14/10 minus 7. That is going to equal 7. I need to bring my decimal down. I can write this either this way or I can add a 0. It does not matter. Okay. Let's go ahead and come over here. This is a good example. This is where we're going to have to write that 0 in. So I've got 91 and 49 hundredths, and I'm going to subtract 7/10. So I have 0.7. This is where I want to write that 0 in. Okay. 9 minus 0, I can do that is 9. Can I do 4 minus 7? No, I can't. I need to regroup. So I'm going to borrow and regroup. That 4 turns into a 14. 14 minus 7 is 7. Bring down that decimal because it's not changing its place. 0 minus 0 is 0. 9 minus 0 is 9. So this answer is 90 and 79 hundredths. Okay. Same thing on letter C. I've got 191 and 49 hundredths. I'm going to subtract 10 and 72 hundredths. It's nice, lined up so nicely. 9 minus 2 is 7. I can't do this 4 minus 7, so I need to regroup again. This one seems like they like that 4 and 7 now. So I'm going to turn that into a 0. Now I've got 14. 14 minus 7 is 7. I'm just going to bring that decimal down. 0 minus 0 is 0. 9 minus 1 is 8. 1 minus 0 is 1. So I have 180 and 77 hundredths. Okay. Go ahead and continue on. I've got 7 and 148 thousandths, and I'm going to subtract this 7 hundredths, and I'm going to add that 0 to make it that thousandths, just kind of help me make sure my numbers are lined up. 8 minus 0 is 8. Okay, I cannot do that 4 minus 7, so I need to regroup. 14 minus 7 is 7. 0 minus 0 is 0. I'm just going to bring that decimal right down, and then I have my 7. Okay, so I've got 7 and 78 thousandths. Okay, we're going to keep going with letter E. I've got 60 and 91 hundredths, and I'm going to subtract 2 and 856 thousandths. Now, this time, all these zeros that I've had to add were that bottom number. I am going to add that 0 to that top number, because now, instead of just saying, well, I can just bring the 6 down, you can't. You have to look at this. Can I do 0 minus 6? No, I can't. Can I do 1 minus 5? No, I can't. But you know what? Well, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to come to this 9, and I'm going to borrow from this 9 to turn that into an 8. I'll turn this one into an 11, but I still need to borrow from here, so that's going to turn into a 10, and then now I can turn this into a 10 because I've borrowed from a couple columns. So now I can do 10 minus 6 is 4. I can do 10 minus 5 is 5. I can do 8 minus 8 is 0, and then I'm going to bring that decimal down. I cannot do 0 minus 2, so I need to borrow from that 60, and I'm going to turn that into 10 ones. So 10 minus 2 is 8. 5 minus 0 is 5. So this answer is 58 and 54 thousandths. Okay. Letter F, I've got 361 and 31 hundredths. I'm going to subtract 2. Remember, I'm lining up that decimal, 841. Here's another example. I want to have that 0 there. Okay, so I can't do 0 minus 1. So I'm going to do this a little bit differently here. So I'm going to borrow this 1 here, turn that into a 0. Now I've got 10 minus 1 is 9. Okay, I can't do 0 minus 4, so I need to borrow from this 3. So I'm going to turn that into a 2. And now I've got my 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. I can't do 2 minus 8, so I'm going to borrow from this 1. That's going to turn into a 0. Now I've got 12. 12 minus 8 is 4. Okay, bring down my decimal. I can't do 0 minus 2, so I need to borrow from this 6. So that's going to turn into a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. Now I can do these problems. 5 minus 0 is 5. 3 minus 0 is 3. So I've got 358 and 469 thousandths. Okay, we're going to go ahead, watch the next video to do the rest of this work.